So didn't see any videos on YouTube of this, so figured I'd make one myself. This is replacing the timing chain tensioner on an Acura RSX 2006 Type S. Yeah, so it has a pretty bad ticking noise, and there's the TCT. Sorry, I started recording in the middle of all this, but I'm hoping that this would solve the ticking noise, because it does sound like a bad TCT on an S2000 at the very least. So comparing the two noises, I figure it might be the same issue, so it's worth a try. Otherwise, it would probably be the timing chain, but yeah, this is how you go about it. So where are the bolts? There they are. So you obviously take off the front passenger side wheel, get under here. The factory service manual says you need to remove the serpentine belt. I don't think you need to, because I mean, it would make it a little bit easier, but honestly, the difference is negligible. So you have this door here, and behind the door is the TCT. It's 3 10mm bolts, so you need a 10 obviously. And then, yeah, that'll get you in there. Make sure you scrape off all of the previous gasket before you reinstall the new one. I'm scraping it off right now. All right, so got all that scraped off. And I scraped off from the block as well. You see I have a pin in the TCT now. What you got to do to get that pin in there is you rotate the, take a breaker bar. This bolt right here is a 19. So you're going to take the breaker bar and you're going to rotate it counterclockwise to get the pin in at first. And then you're going to rotate it clockwise to get the pin secure. Now that's just an ordinary thumbtack. Should do the trick just fine. Let me remove those two 10mm. So here it is, I got it out. Now in the factory service manual, it says that the compliance for the extension of this timing chain tensioner is 13.5mm. Now what that means is that if this is extended past 13.5mm, that the timing chain needs to be replaced because it's too stretched. So typically you would measure that while it is installed and on the car. And you would do that by getting behind the valve, the timing chain cover, which is a lot more of a task than just, servicing this. Yeah, you would need to pull the engine for that. So that is extended past 13.5mm, but it looks like where the oil sits, because that would be where it actually is when the car is running, is about 10mm. So I believe we're within compliance. I'm not sure. Obviously we need to install the new one and see if that solves things. But yeah, it is a little bit annoying to get out of there. I kind of had to finagle it, because it kind of falls down into the thing. And so I had to use a set of pliers and kind of, jimmy it out. But yeah, there it is. All right. So the new timing chain tensioner is in. Have not removed the pin yet, because I was going to wait to show you guys that because you're special. But it was a little tough to get in. I used a trim removal tool kind of as a pry bar to wedge it in on the back end here. So I just popped it in there. And then from there it was pretty easy. Make sure that that pin doesn't fall out while you're pushing it in, because if there is force against the piston of the timing chain tensioner, then the pin will come loose. That happened to me. Luckily I was able to save it. But yeah, here we go. So make sure these are torqued down. The torque spec I found online was 8.7 foot-pounds. Now my torque wrench didn't fit in there, so I just got it tight. I should be fine. Pull that pin out. There we have it. The timing chain tensioner is installed. during that process, before the timing chain tensioner is in, make sure that you don't move around the crankshaft at all, just because you don't want to skip a tooth or anything. Since there's no pressure on the timing chain, you know, just want to be extra careful so you don't move around the cam gears. But yeah, let's finish this up. Oh, I also talked, I don't know if I said this already, but I talked to I sent a picture to my friend who is a master tech, and he said, clean that area around the block more for the gasket. So I did. I would recommend a metal brush if you have one. I used an old toothbrush, but old toothbrush and a scraper. But yeah, make sure you get it all nice and clean for the new gasket maker. So there's the gasket maker on. Gonna put that on the car now. That's how much gasket maker I applied. Well, forgot to record the rest of it, but you know, basically just do everything in reverse, and yeah, make sure to let that gasket maker seat for however long it's supposed to. This one's 90-minute. Gonna push this out, and you know, hopefully, well, I'll film when when we get the first startup to see if it solved the lifter tick or the ticking noise, not lifter tick. All right.